Hey guys, I got an email back from the gentleman who sent me an email the other day about what I thought of him as a DJ. This young man does dubstep and club style music and smaller venues. He's thinking about getting into weddings, and he was asking me what I thought about him getting into weddings. And I gave my opinion, not only in a private email to him, but I did a video. Turns out this guy is 19 years old, and he wants to do it, but he wants to do it right. And he took my advice very well. And if you want to see what advice I gave him, go back and look at the last video I shot. But this got me thinking about when I was a young DJ. Because this guy, like I mentioned, he's 19. When I was 19, I was doing weddings by myself. But the thing is, I had been doing weddings as an assistant for over a year previous to that. And it got me thinking about perception of young DJs. Something I haven't had to deal with for a long time. I mean, yeah, every once in a while somebody thinks I'm young. Like maybe in my late 20s or something, maybe early 30s. I'm almost 40. But what would happen early on when I first started working at the multi-op is they would send me out with the best DJs. Just these great guys. And they were all guys who looked like adults, whether or not they were older or not. Some of them might have been in their 20s, but they looked like they could have, they looked responsible, and they looked like they belonged on stage. And the way they trained me was kind of cool when I look back at it. And this is why maybe I always want everybody to work under someone first, because this was such a great experience for me. This did not come supernatural to me. I had some ability, but it needed to be, I guess, honed or needed to be cultivated, and these guys definitely helped me out. What they would do is, at first, I was the DJ. I already understood how to work a mixing board because I had DJ'd previous to that at skating rinks and things. So they would hand me tunes. They would program the evening, but they would hand me songs. And then after I got pretty good at that, they would start saying things like, towards the end of the night, Brian, find a good 50s song. So I'd go into the 50s 45 section and I dig out a track and I pull it out. And, oh yeah, here we go, Rock Around the Clock, and throw that on. Or find me a funk tune. So I dig through Prince, The Time, Rick James, here we go, bam. And I got to see what the response was, and maybe the next time we did this, or they asked me the question, I'd try a different track and see if that was a better response, and I'd try different orders. They gave me that opportunity, and they were there with me and holding my hand if I dropped the ball. So if I threw a track on that didn't work, I was devastated. I was like, oh, no. They go, oh, cool, don't worry about it, Brian, don't worry about it. They'd pull out a track that would indeed work, throw it on, hit the crossfader over, and all of a sudden the dance floor would just fill up again, and it's like, wow, that's amazing. So that's how I think I started to learn how to program with the older folks, because it was the younger music I had no problem with. It was the older music that I had problems with. I knew it, but I still didn't know how to program for these people. So anyway, what they did was, and it was kind of cool, they started gradually putting me with worse and worse DJs who were the lead guys. I remember this one guy, Wally, nice guy. He was probably about the age I am now, but he looked like he was 20 years older. Factory worker, looked like he was just tired, and super nice guy again, but not the brightest light in the ceiling. Wally was one of their worst lead DJs. And when I would go out with them, I would end up DJing the night. And Wally would kind of be there to drive the van and help set up, help, I got to go out, and get a drink. Wally would spin tunes. But for the most part, I programmed the evenings. They did this for a long time until eventually they said, all right, Brian, you're going to go out in there on your own. And I said, no, I'm not ready. And they just kind of pushed me out the door. I didn't want to drive the van. I didn't want to do anything. I was terrified to do any of these things myself, because I just cared. I put a lot of heart into what I had done with these other guys as an assistant, and I was so afraid that I wasn't going to live up to what they were, some of these great DJs. But what I didn't realize was I was already being a lead with these older, experienced DJs, because I was kind of saving the party. And they knew what they were doing. Kristen is the one who I think made the schedule, made that happen. Smart chick, Kristen, and you do watch every once in a while. She was the office person at the company I worked for and did the scheduling. But it got me thinking about some other stuff too, like perception of young people doing weddings or younger DJs at weddings. So if you're like a kid and you show up, how are they going to treat you? Eddie Izzard has said this, I've said it in other videos before, that when it comes to public speaking or getting up in front of crowds, it's like, I think it's 70% how you look, 20% of how you sound, and only 10% of what you say. And with that in mind, if you have anything against you, you have any strikes against you, if you have a poor speaking voice, or if you maybe don't know how to speak in front of crowds, and maybe you don't look like someone who should be in charge, that can definitely work against you, and it did me. But having said that, what I would do is use that to my advantage. When I was 19, I didn't look like a lot of the other guys who were 19. I developed early. When I was 12, I was this tall, and I could grow a full beard and mustache. So I looked older as a young guy, and I didn't only look older, I didn't look like an overdeveloped 12-year-old, I looked like a 17-year-old crackhead, because my complexion was shot, I had my hair long, my beard was all scraggly, just skin and bones, But, yeah, I was treated different in school because I looked older, and I looked rough. And I wasn't really rough, I was a wimp. But I put on like a rough front. Everybody leave me alone, Scared them. It was all just BS. But anyway, then when I got a little older, I shaved off and my complexion cleared a little bit. Still not completely clear. I'm wearing makeup today because my complexion's bad, and I'm not ashamed to admit it. But I had hair down to here and did not look like the guy who should be in charge. So when I walked into a room, I think that the bride, the groom, and most of the rest of the crowd had very low expectations as to what was going to happen that night. And then when I plugged everything in, and I got on the microphone, and what I said flowed nice, and the music that I played made sense and was relevant to the crowd, and I threw out some surprises for them. Wow, I forgot about that song. Which I always try to do whenever I'm performing. I always try to throw surprises out there. Stuff that you don't hear every day. It's not on the classic rock station every day. It's maybe a song from even 10 years ago that you just kind of forgot about, and people aren't really playing a lot, but you're playing it, and people are going, oh yeah, cool. I really brought it. So the low expectations, and then being, and I dare say, but better than average DJ, made for some real happy clients. Very happy clients. And I feel like sometimes when you're a young DJ, that's almost what you need to do. If they have low expectations with you walking into the door, you've got to bring it. You've got to be better than average. Definitely better than average. And if you can do that, they're going to love you. Just absolutely love you. Maybe you think about it. Low expectations, under promise, over deliver is basically what I was doing. Didn't know the verbiage for it, but that's what I was doing. Kind of like if you, I don't know. I don't even know what example to use. Maybe if someone said, yeah, I have an old 67 Chevy for sale. Come and check it out. You don't know what it is. You think it's maybe this big 4-door boat. And then you show up, and it's this badass, beautiful Camaro RS SS rag top or something in mint condition for $500. I mean, it's like, whoa. Under promise, over deliver. Bad example. I know a lot of you guys aren't car guys, but I think that's maybe key. I don't know. I'm vlogging. So that's it. I'm turning the camera off. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. We'll try to shoot more video this weekend. Practice and enjoy.